I'm making this video for Math 260 so that we can get ourselves kick-started and not spend a whole lot of time during the first meeting dawdling over the details of how the course runs. So I'm going to take a few minutes to explain that here. I'm going to show you Blackboard first. This is where you're going to live most of the time. And you don't see the entirety of my screen because I wanted to concentrate on the left side where most of the action is, but I think you can at least see enough of the courses in your Blackboard. You will see for 2018 fall the Math 260 F1HY. F1 means we're only meeting the first half of the term. This is an accelerated course. HY means hybrid. That's how we get away with only meeting for half of the course, because you're going to be working twice as hard during the weeks as the people taking this as it's spread out over the whole term, because a lot of your activity is going to be online, even though we're meeting every week. So I'm going to click in here, and now you can see the front area of the course. Now in the Blackboard menu, really the two areas you care about are the syllabus area and the content area. The course is set to display the content area when you log in. The syllabus area has, guess what, the class syllabus and the class schedule. Over here, I'm going to go back to content. That's all you need to know is basically those two links on the left menu. We have a PDF textbook. It's not the best textbook in the world, I suppose, but it's brief and to the point, and it has the minimum of what we need in terms of content. So it's free. That makes it good news. I'm going to go into one of these content folders. You can see I have it organized by week. We have a 7.5 week course. We have 6 weeks of content because we also need time for a test here and there. So I'm just going to go into week 1 in just a second. Each one of these weekly folders has a quick outline of everything you're responsible for, and this is the general pattern of this class. We meet on Tuesday morning at 10:30 till 11:45. Prior to the Tuesday meeting, I'm going to be assuming that you've watched a few videos that are inside this folder. So we come into this folder, and here's one video, here's another video, here's another video, here's another video. These videos aren't that long, so it shouldn't take you too long to get through them. And these are pretty simple topics, so it should be interesting watching. You also have access to the PDFs of the slides that are in the videos if you want to see them separately without me yapping over them. And the way this works is, on a week-by-week basis, you've watched the videos before you come to class so that you have a fundamental preview of the content that we're handling, and I don't have to spend time going over the absolute basics. In class, I'll show you more examples, presuming you know the terminology and things like that, so we can get right to the good stuff. I will go over more examples. In the class, you get to ask me questions about problems that you've already tried to tackle on the topic, and we go from there. After a particular class, you're going to follow up in a couple of different ways. By Thursday night at 11, you will have gone to a different platform that I'll show you in a minute called WebWork, where you will provide responses to problems I've asked you to work on in an electronic environment. And then by Friday afternoon at 3:30, you will be delivering written work for a smaller set of problems. Now, there's a couple of different ways for you to deliver the written work. One is you can do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to have a box sitting on a chair right outside my office with a sign that says Math 260. And by Friday at 3:30, you can deposit your papers that have your work on it. The other way you can do it, if you don't want to make a trip to Gellerson or have to deal with the box, is do your work on paper, scan it, collect it into a single file like a PDF, and then use this green link to upload it. This link vanishes at 3:30 on Friday. So no matter how you do it, you have until 3:30 at Friday to complete your written work. And then the following Tuesday, there will be a brief quiz on the topic that you just spun your wheels on for the week. Friday, right after the homework is due, the solutions to the problems that you had just worked on will appear. So again, before Tuesday, you watch some introductory videos. During class on Tuesday, I answer your questions on the topic and we solve some more problems based on that content. By Thursday, you're responding to some preliminary problem solving in an online environment. I do not collect that work. I only see it if you show it to me to ask questions about it. By Friday afternoon, you've been through the first round of problems, resolved any questions you had, and now you're showing me your skills by providing some written solutions to a few problems. You can review the solutions to those over the weekend, ask me more questions, and then the following Tuesday, we will do a quiz on the topic just completed. And that's basically the routine, over and over, through 6 repetitions through the week. And I know this will be rough. The very first meeting is Tuesday, which is the very first day of classes. And I totally understand that not everybody will have watched all the videos, but most people will have seen these topics before. And so I think we can make a quick running start, but it will certainly help you if you have watched these videos. The Excel file that has the course schedule in it, back here in the syllabus section, that document, let me open it up. I'm going to download it, pop it open. It's going to have 7 different tabs, 1 for each week of the class. And each tab, so right now mine happens to be open to week 6, it will give the date of the meeting, the overall topic, kind of the subtopics that you have to know about, and this makes a checklist. When it's time for homework and quizzes, you can go back through this list and say, do I know how to do that? Do I know how to do that? Because by then you should. Your workflow for the week is at the bottom half. So prior to the class meeting, you watch your videos and start working on some problems. Tuesday is our meeting. Thursday is the first responses to problem solving. Friday is submission of the written work. And then the following Tuesday is a quiz over all these topics. Over here on the right is a list of problems, sections that you can reference to help you with the topics. So the F1HY book is the PDF that I've made available in Blackboard. So for example, sections 19 and 20 in that book have, tell you something about these 3 topics. The Farlow textbook is the one that if you happen to also be enrolled in Math 270, you have that book as well. That book covers a lot of this content. And so if you go into section 5.3 of that book, you will see review of some of these topics. And then I'm also telling you which of the videos goes along with each of these subtopics. So you have lots of different references for all these topics. And then down here is a list of the problems that get assigned for you to work on for that particular topic. And then every different week has this same layout. And there's week 1 right there. That's where it's all going to start on Tuesday. So now I'm going to head for web work, and I believe, the first link after the textbook in our content area is a link to WebWork. It just occurs to me that what I've done to create this semester's class is I imported last year's class. And what I haven't done is update the link. The link to WebWork has changed. So mental note, once I'm done making this video, I've got to go edit this link. But if you click it, eventually, once you get to it, here's where it's going to take you. I'm just going there a different way. Right? But what this also shows you is that once you've gone into Blackboard and you've found out this link to WebWork, bookmark it, because you don't want to have to go into Blackboard just to jump over and get into WebWork. You can get to WebWork directly once you have the URL. So the front page of WebWork looks like this, and your list of classes may be as long as this. You're going to go find our class, which is Math 260 Hybrid in fall of 2018. You will log in the very first time with your Valparaiso username and your student ID number as your password. If you were in Math 253 online over the summer, which a lot of you were, this class is like a family reunion for that one, all the rosters are independent of each other. So even though you used WebWork in Math 253, that account is not the same as the one for this class. So you will still log in with Valpo username and your student ID number here the first time you get in there. And then once you're in, any of you can change the password to whatever you want. In WebWork, You have several different items that are eventually due. One is just some practice problems. You go into WebWork and you've never used it before. Some of you haven't. How does it work? Well, you can go into this WebWork practice folder, and there's several different problems you can just mess with. They're not graded by me. You can just test the entry, see how it goes, get used to the interface. There's no use for it other than that. The rest of them are where you go for the Thursday night deadline, where you have learned a topic by watching videos and by listening to me blab on about them. And then you do a first set of problem solving. The problems are in here. So like the problems that you are going to do for week 1 can be found in the Unit 1 week 1 set. Now this is a lot of problems. This is the largest list of problems that you will have all term, but a lot of these are super quick. Okay, so it looks like it's a lot, but it really isn't going to be that bad. What I recommend is that you come into one of these units and you download a PDF of the problem set. So that way you can get the problems out of here, save them as a file, maybe print them out, and you can work on them at your leisure. You don't have to have this interface active the entire time you're working on the problems. Once you've downloaded the PDF of the problems, you've got them all figured out, then you can come back here and address the problems with your responses. Most of the problems that I'm giving you in here, you actually get 2 attempts for. This is not supposed to be cutthroat grading. This is supposed to help you learn. So you can try a problem. If you get it right the first time, great, you move on. If you get it wrong the first time, you have a chance to get it corrected by noting that it was wrong and then going back and trying again. But after 2 tries, then it's all gone. The interface in WebWork is pretty forgiving about mathematical input. So I'm going to go in here, and let's say I'm just going to pick problem 3, and I'm going to try one of these. So this is just a totally randomly selected problem. It really has nothing to do with our class. It's just practice. We're simplifying a quadratic, and so look, there's 3x, there's negative 3x, so that's a 0. There's negative 2x squared plus 5x squared, so that would be 3x squared. And then in this next one, we have 20x plus 4x, which is 24x minus 8. All right, now there's options down here at the bottom of the screen, and I want everybody to pay close attention to this. The Preview My Answers button is your favorite button, because what it's going to do is it's going to show you how WebWork is interpreting the input you're giving before you actually submit it. So when it gets to more complicated expressions, you get a chance to check, did I place my parentheses correctly? Did I build the fraction that I think I really built? And so on. So always use the Preview Answers button. If you don't use it and you get a question wrong because you didn't format your answer properly, even though it might have otherwise been correct, well, that's the breaks. Once I've checked this, I can submit my answers, and you'll learn to love the green color that comes up to show you that these are correct. You actually can't see the whole window off to the right, but it's a green bar and it says correct. Now here, I'm going to take my input down here. I'm going to change this to negative 8 plus 24x, and I'm going to resubmit my answers. And it says this answer is equivalent to the one you just submitted. It's still correct. WebWork can interpret functions. It's not so hung up on the formatting as long as you're entering a valid expression for the thing you're trying to create. It's all right. It will interpret it correctly. Let me go back and I'll try another one here just for fun. What's problem 1? Oh, that's just a numerical evaluation. That's boring. What about problem 4? What's this? Ooh, that's gross. Okay. So simplifying expressions, this is going to be negative 8 plus 15, which is what, 7 over negative 5, so negative 7/5. I'm going to submit that. It's correct. The one above is incorrect because I didn't put anything there. Watch what happens here. Negative 7/5, negative 14/10. Same number, right? Still correct. because it recognizes that negative 14 tenths and negative 7 fifths are the same number. So again, it's a fairly forgiving and flexible input method for your responses to questions. It doesn't mean you can get away with everything, but there's a lot of stuff that you will find it works with you instead of against you on. All right, so last time, you're in Blackboard. You're working on a topic, say week number 2. Prior to Tuesday, you're watching the videos. You're coming into class on Tuesday armed with questions about the topic, and maybe you've already started to work on some of the problems that were listed. We finish class on Tuesday, which includes a quiz on the previous week's topic. But for the content that you're now underway with, that started on Tuesday, now you're going to practice those WebWork problems, which you find back here in WebWork. Let me get to my front page here. Whoops, I left the class. Now I'm back in the class. So then I would go to Unit 2, Week 2, which is, which right now it's not open yet. It will be open before the semester starts. It will say it's due by Thursday, September, whatever, at 11 p.m. And so that's when you have to answer those questions by. And then by Friday, you will have done some written work and turned that in. The solutions to that written work will become available Friday evening, and then you have all weekend and Monday to double check with me about any questions you still have left open, and then take a quiz on that topic the following Tuesday when the routine all starts all over again. And that is how we do Math 260.